A lot of custom PPFs are already out there, free and paid, each one built with its own purpose in mind. Some are perfect for daily racing, some are meant for photographers who spend more time in photo mode than actually driving, and some are designed purely for cinematic flexing. There's one filter that feels like the community's universal favorite. C13 Aegis shows up everywhere because it just works. Simple, clean, and flexible enough for any situation you throw at it. I've used it, enjoyed it, and completely understand why everyone keeps it in their toolbox. Even so, it doesn't quite land the look I want in my game. So I ended up making my own PPF instead, inspired by Aegis, mixed with bits from other filters, and sprinkled with whatever ideas survived my usual round of notepad chaos. That little experiment turned into DV Ascend, the preset I'm showing today. Welcome back, awesome fellas. Faye here, still tinkering with the game, the same way some people reorganize their garage at midnight. If this is your first stop on the channel, check my previous videos. There's a whole lineup waiting for you. From tutorials on polishing car visuals to the lesser-known tricks inside Content Manager, plus a few guides on squeezing better graphics and performance out of Assetto Corsa without making your system complain. Plenty of useful stuff to explore while this video rolls on. This PPF has been sitting on the backlog for a while now. Its first appearance on the channel was sometime last year, and only a small group of brave volunteers tried the early build and shared their thoughts with me. The plan now is to finally release the full version next month before the year wraps up. The beta is already available on my Patreon if you want to take it for a spin. Links in the description. And just like everything I've made so far, the final release will be free. Since the start of the video, you've already seen the base PPF of DV Ascend, along with the extra presets: Natural, Cinematics, Night Racing, and Golden Hour. These were originally packed as subconfigs inside the main filter, but I've split them into individual PPFs instead. This way you can tweak each one however you like without digging through a stacked configuration. This is how DV Ascend behaves under the Overcast preset. Just like any other PPF, Overcast does the heavy lifting for you and makes everything look good without trying. Now, flipping over to a sunny setup with few clouds at high noon, the goal is to push the brightness while still holding onto solid shadow depth and keeping distant details like trees and mountains from washing out. I usually don't let the sun sit directly above me. Shifting the clock a bit lower gives the scene more defined shadows, trims the overall brightness, and keeps everything clear without blowing your retinas like a badly timed adult website pop-up, the kind you pretend you didn't click. You can also shift the color tone of trees and the whole environment by changing the month in the Pure Planner. It follows the track's seasonal cycle: winter tones in December, easing into spring, then summer, then fall, and looping back again. A simple tweak and the whole world adjusts with it. The DV Ascend is meant to work as a true all-around filter you can throw at almost anything, built to stay steady whether you're racing, snapping screenshots, or cooking up full-blown cinematic shots without your game melting down. It's flexible enough to handle the usual mayhem Assetto Corsa throws at it, and simple enough that you won't lose an afternoon buried in a sea of sliders. You're free to tweak any part of it to match your idea of visual realism. If you ever want to roll back to the original look, just import the included default subconfig in the Pure Config app. Or export your own version and build a little library of setups tailored to whatever mood you're in. The base filter already gives you everything you need to get rolling, but DV Ascend Natural leans a little more toward the real-world side of things. It bumps the daylight colors just enough to make them feel alive without turning the game into a fluorescent fruit salad. It uses its own color grading to pull that off, and the magic is mostly in the subtle shifts. If you want to see what it's doing under the hood, open the PPF editor and play with the color grading intensity. The changes aren't loud, but they're the kind that sneak up on you and suddenly make the whole scene look like it woke up after a good nap. Another preset in the pack is DV Ascend Cinematics, and this one leans fully into the dramatic stuff. It's built for screen grabbing short films, moody showcases, or those moments when you want your regular hot lap to look like a director yelled action somewhere off screen. This version uses a completely different color grading setup and heavier contrast to give the frame deeper shadows and a slightly moodier punch. I also reworked the ambient settings to push that cinematic atmosphere right into the foreground. It's the exact filter I used for my recent cinematic video, so if you like that look, this is the one responsible for it. For anyone who enjoys chasing lap times after sundown, DV Ascend Night Racing brings a different flavor to the table. It runs on its own dedicated setup with a cooler blue tint, a sky that actually behaves, and stars that don't look like someone spilled salt across the screen. The moon size can be tweaked too, in case you want something subtle or something big enough to make werewolves nervous. The whole idea is to keep the scene sharp and readable during high-intensity night runs. Car emissive lighting and headlight bounce are bright enough to guide you, but not bright enough to fry your eyeballs. Track lights get a gentle nudge as well, so every circuit can show off its best side once the sun clocks out. The golden hour preset is built for those sunrise and sunset moments where the light hits just right. It boosts the sunlight and ambient glow, shifts the clouds to match the mood, and leans into that warm landscape photography style. A few extra God rays help sell the atmosphere, and the transition toward night stays smooth enough that you can keep driving without the visuals falling apart when the sun finally dips. It's the kind of preset that makes even a simple lap look like it's posing for a postcard, and it wraps up the last piece of the DV Ascend pack before the full release work continues. The filters aren't fully cooked yet, but the beta version of DV Ascend is already up on my Patreon if you want to mess around with it while I keep trimming the weight and polishing things before the full release. Feel free to tell me what you think. Hitting like and subscribing helps the channel more than you'd expect, and it keeps me motivated to keep dropping better stuff instead of vanishing into another week-long PPF tweaking coma. All my Assetto Corsa tutorials and sim racing mods live on Patreon and stay free forever, and any support over there means a lot. Keep your skies smooth, your shadows behaved, your highlights under control, and as always, stay awesome.